cover the largest ever SEO summit in history. This would be the Prime Minister's first visit in 7 years since the border clashes began. Will the Global South solidarity reset the equation with the West? Will there be a trilateral between India, Russia, and China? Answers to all these questions and much more only on Republic TV as I get you minute-to-minute update from China.
A very good evening, viewers, to the latest edition of 6 Stories at 6, and I'm Rakshita Mishra with you, viewers. And the big stories lined up for you on this edition is starting with the GST reforms, the Diwali gift, the bonanza for the Aam Aadmi Party. We'll tell you, we'll break it down for you, what has gone cheap, what is now dearer, and who's impacted the most, viewers. We'll get you voices from ground also. And story number 2 will be the Trump tariff battle, the legal battle, as Trump has now moved the America's Supreme Court, and he has also cited India, and why the tariffs are important on India. Now, viewers, story number 3 will be the meeting between Indian Prime Minister and his Singaporean counterpart and the important agreements that have been signed. Story number 4 will be the deadly deluge across North India, viewers, from Jammu Kashmir to Punjab to New Delhi. We'll tell you what's happening on ground, and also the latest in the Dharma case and the Save Sanatan appeal by Hindu seers to Home Minister Amit Shah. And finally, we tell you what happened in Bengal today. The Assembly witnessed massive ruckus. There was high voltage drama that unfolded in Bengal Assembly. So we start with story number 1, viewers. The GST Council came up with multiple reforms in the GST structure, making it very easy to understand for the common people also. There's only 2 slabs, 12% and 28% slabs have been eliminated. So there's 2 tax structures have been approved, 5% and 18% slabs. It has been hailed by economists, politicians and industry experts as well. But what is the word on the ground, viewers? How do the common people feel about it? What does the common man have to say about the new mega GST reforms? Take a look at this report.
As promised by the Prime Minister on Independence Day,
इस दिवाली में आपकी डबल दिवाली का काम मैं करने वाला हूं। इस दिवाली में आपको एक बहुत बड़ा तोहफा देशवासियों को मिलने वाला है। हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन जीएसटी रिफॉर्म्स लेकर के आ रहे हैं। ये दिवाली के अंदर आपके लिए तोहफा बन जाएंगे। सामान्य मानवीय की जरूरतों के टैक्स भारी मात्रा में कम कर दिए जाएंगे। बहुत बड़ी सुविधा बढ़ेगी। हमारे एमएसएमई, हमारे लघु उद्यमी, इनको बहुत बड़ा लाभ मिलेगा। रोजमर्रा की चीजें बहुत सस्ती हो जाएगी और उससे इकोनॉमी को भी एक नया बल मिलने वाला है।
the people of India have received bumper pre-Diwali bonanza. From healthcare to daily consumption items to automotives. The 56th GST Council meet, led by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, has announced the mega GST reform. It marked some of the biggest GST reforms since its inception in 2017. The new GST rates will be effective from the first day of Navratri, that is 22nd of September. These reforms are supposed to remove complexity and confusion from the tax structure mostly faced by the common man. The biggest benefit is that many items which were earlier in the higher brackets have come down to the lowest bracket, making some items cheaper and consumer happier. But how does the common man feel about the new reforms? Republic went on the ground to hear from people what these changes mean for them.
Shampoos, dairy products and all, it has from 18% it has come down to 5%, so that is a good part.
I think it will useful for that person, that person who is thinking about whether we should get educated or not because of just money problem or that things.
नया जीएसटी हमारे लिए होपफुली अच्छा होगा बिकॉज अभी नया जीएसटी पैंस आया हुआ है सो होपफुली वो बेटर रहेगा हमारे लिए.
It is good actually. It is benefit to all, females and males, every human being.
Republic also got a word from top economists to understand how it will affect the Indian economy, which is poised to become the third largest in the world.
It's a historic day, and I would say this is revolutionary day for the economic history of India. As we implemented the GST in 2017, and thereafter this is a great reform to simplify the taxes. So when the GST was implemented in 2017, people were saying that this is complex or create problems. But year after year, GST was becoming more and more simple. So now I would say this is the simplest form of the GST.
From reduced rates on essentials to a new 40% slab, these reforms aim to ease the burden on consumers. The word on the ground is clear. From politicians to economists to common consumers, everyone is welcoming the reforms.
US President Donald Trump has asked the Supreme Court of the United States to overturn a ruling that declared his tariffs illegal. Now, the appeals court had earlier ruled that he exceeded his authority under the 1977 Emergency Economic Powers Act, and in his petition, President Trump urged the court to fast-track the case, calling the judgment a hurdle to trade talks. With President Trump making it clear that tariffs on India will stay, the Supreme Court's decision will determine the future of Trump's tariffs and could redefine presidential power over trade.
US President Donald Trump has asked the Supreme Court to quickly take up his appeal and overturn a ruling that declared his tariffs illegal. This move comes after a federal appeals court in a 7-4 judgment held that President Trump exceeded his authority under the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The court ruled that the law does not give the president unlimited power to impose tariffs, describing his actions as quote-unquote unconstitutional. In his petition, President Trump urged the Supreme Court to bypass routine procedures and hear arguments without delay. His legal team requested that the case be placed on the court's November calendar, calling the ruling a major obstacle to ongoing trade negotiations. Solicitor General D. John Sauer, representing the Trump administration, warned that leaving the appeals court decision unchallenged would create uncertainty in foreign trade policy and undermine America's economic stability. Meanwhile, India also featured in President Trump's appeal to the US Supreme Court. President Trump, however, made it clear that the existing tariffs on India will remain in place.
No, we get along with India very well, but India has, you have to understand, for many years it was a one-sided relationship. Only now, since I came along, and because of the power that we have with tariffs, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world. They were about the highest in the world, number one. And we therefore weren't doing much business with India, but they were doing business with us because we weren't charging them. Foolishly, we weren't charging them. So they would send in massive, everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative. But we would not send in anything because they were charging us 100% tariffs.
Meanwhile, President Vladimir Putin, speaking from China, remarked that the United States cannot continue dealing with India and China in a high-handed manner, stressing that the era of colonial dominance is over. The Supreme Court's response to this petition will not only determine the future of President Trump's trade measures, but could also define the extent of presidential power in shaping US economic policy.
Now, India and Singapore have taken their partnership to the next level. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held wide-ranging talks with his Singaporean counterpart Lawrence Wong in New Delhi, marking 60 years of diplomatic ties. Both leaders unveiled a roadmap for future cooperation and signed several key MOUs in areas ranging from space, technology and skilling to green shipping and civil nuclear energy. Here's what transpired.
India and Singapore have elevated their partnership to new heights. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Singaporean counterpart Lawrence Wong held comprehensive talks in New Delhi. India and Singapore have reaffirmed their strong and enduring partnership as Prime Minister Modi held wide-ranging talks with Singapore's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong in the national capital.
Thank you, Prime Minister Modi, for the warm and gracious hospitality extended to me and my delegation. I'm glad to be back on my first official visit as Prime Minister and to celebrate 60 years of close and enduring friendship between our two countries. Over this past decade, India has made remarkable advances under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. India is now the fourth largest economy in the world, with a dynamism and influence felt far beyond its borders.
Prime Minister Modi underlined that India-Singapore ties go far beyond the realm of diplomacy, describing the partnership as one with purpose, anchored in shared values and mutual interests.
सिंगापुर हमारा सबसे बड़ा ट्रेड पार्टनर है। सिंगापुर से भारत में बड़े स्तर पर निवेश हुआ है। हमारे रक्षा संबंध निरंतर मजबूत हो रहे हैं। हमारा सहयोग केवल पारंपरिक क्षेत्रों तक सीमित नहीं रहेगा। बदलते समय के अनुरूप एडवांस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, ग्रीन शिपिंग, स्किलिंग, सिविल न्यूक्लियर और अर्बन वाटर मैनेजमेंट जैसे क्षेत्र भी हमारे सहयोग के केंद्र बिंदु बनेंगे।
Several agreements were signed between both the nations during the visit, including cooperation in space, technology and innovation. One of the key MOUs calls for the creation of a National Center of Excellence for Skilling in Chennai. After his bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Wong, Prime Minister Modi said the relationship is guided by a vision of peace, progress and prosperity. The meeting coincided with the 60th anniversary of diplomatic ties between the two nations, and it also marked Prime Minister Wong's first visit to India since assuming the office. Both leaders reflected on the progresses made since the launch of the comprehensive strategic partnership last year, noting that cooperation has gained depth and momentum.
Our bilateral relationship has grown in tandem. Singapore is the largest foreign investor in India, accounting for around a quarter of India's foreign direct investment inflows. And our cooperation now spans a wide and diverse range of fields. Last year, PM Modi and I agreed to elevate relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership, or a CSP. This morning, we had fruitful discussions on how we can take this CSP forward.
A detailed roadmap has now been unveiled, setting out collaboration in critical areas such as green shipping, advanced manufacturing, civil nuclear energy, urban water management and skills. Prime Minister Modi also welcomed Singapore's strong participation in Semicon India 2025, adding that the semiconductor ecosystem partnership has significantly boosted research and innovation in the sector.
Now, heavy rains, flash floods are paralyzing several parts of North India, with evacuation, rescue and clearing operations underway in the flood-affected areas of Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, as the commute and daily lives have come to a standstill. In fact, the Supreme Court has also taken cognizance, has raised an alarm also regarding the flood situation, calling it an unprecedented situation, and also sent notice to states of the several affected states, and also saying that there is a case of illegal felling also that is being reported, and that could be a possible reason behind what is an unprecedented situation, viewers. In fact, large numbers of wooden blocks have been flowing in Himachal. These are observations made by the Supreme Court, and also said that development has to be balanced, viewers, because now it's important to take it very seriously what really is happening in North India. This is unprecedented rainfall, and the flood situation is something that has never been seen in decades now. Republic TV brings you detailed report on the floods from the ground zero.
Heavy rains followed by landslides and flash floods have gripped Jammu and Kashmir. The Jammu region remains worst affected due to heavy rains and swollen rivers. Following heavy rainfall in Jammu and Kashmir, several major roads in the region, including the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway NH44, have been closed for vehicular movement. The Vaishno Devi Yatra continues to remain suspended for the 10th straight day. Operations to clear the debris and reopen the route are underway, as it is a critical land link to the entire Kashmir Valley. While the other inter-regional roads such as Mughal Road and Sanatan Road were closed following landslides and mudslides.
Breach in river embankments at multiple places has led to the increase in the level of river Jhelum, and today we are showing you one of the breach, and this is the area along the Srinagar-Jammu National Highway, the underwater pass where you see the flow of the water. It's high speed water that you see, and it is one of the reasons that at present the city has been saved. Had there not been these breaches, then the entire water would have moved towards Srinagar city.
Republic continues to report from the ground, bringing you the latest updates of the monsoon fury.
We are on the fourth bridge of the Jammu Tavi, where due to the low rains in the upper reaches, the water level of river Tavi has come down. But if you look at that, the water flow, it is still the one that can dent the areas that have previously been damaged, because the new routes that river Tavi and river Chenab have established, they are into the civilian areas. And if you move up, you will see that there are dark clouds in the skies, which clearly hints that the weather may deteriorate further, and that is what the locals are actually concerned of, because yesterday the heavy to heavy rains that have taken place have done a large scale damage to the civilian property.
In Jammu's Gakriyal, locals are bound to cross the Chenab River to reach the other side, risking their lives in neck-deep river water.
As incessant rains and heavy rainfall and the flash floods have caused havoc in the Jammu region, the border area of the Gadkhal right now where we are reporting from, the roads have completely been washed away, and the people have left with no other option but then to risk their life and to cross the river only by swimming across from it. The situation is here concerning, because everyone is now risking their life, and this entire area that you see, that the people, they have to get themselves actually submerged up to their neck level so that they can cross over to the other side.
In neighbouring Punjab, Union Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan visited the flood-affected areas to take stock of the situation. Shivraj Singh Chauhan also interacted with the farmers in the flood-affected areas of Gurdaspur, that remains the worst affected district in the state of Punjab. Not just the roads and villages, but the India-Pakistan international border is also bearing the brunt of the flash floods.
इस समय इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर पर है, जहां पर मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूं कि कैसे पाकिस्तान पूरा यहां पर डूब चुका है। देखिए तस्वीरें अगर मैं आपको दिखाऊं तो ये जो पानी का सैलाब है, और ये जो पानी का सैलाब है कैसे ये पाकिस्तान की चारों तरफ आपको दिखाई दे रहा है। ये पानी जो है भारत में प्रवेश ना करे, लगातार इसकी जद्दोजहद भी इस समय की जा रही है। देखिए बोरियां यहाँ पर इसीलिए लगाई जा रही हैं क्योंकि पाकिस्तान जो है अपना पानी भारत की तरफ यहाँ पर छोड़ रहा है, लेकिन कई ऐसी चौकियाँ जो इस समय पाकिस्तान की देखिए डूब चुकी हैं। अगर मैं आपको देखिए जूम करके दिखाऊं, जहाँ पर आपको देखिए पीले पीले कलर के कई सारे जो चौकी हैं वो यहाँ पर आपको दिखाई देंगे, जो इस समय पूरी तरह से डूब चुके हैं पाकिस्तान के। तमाम रेस्क्यू में यहाँ पर लोग लगे हैं, इंडियन आर्मी के जवान जो है लगातार यहाँ पर पूरी निगरानी कर रहे हैं। आप देख पा रहे होंगे ऊपर से लगातार वो मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं कि आखिर कैसे यहाँ पर काम किया जाए।
The rains have paralyzed the daily lives commute in both Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir, and both states continue to remain on high alert.
Now, seers and community leaders, Hindu leaders from across the country submitted a detailed memorandum to Union Home Minister Amit Shah today, demanding urgent protective legislation to safeguard the saints, religious institutions and places of worship from what they described as repeated assaults, both physical and digital. Now, viewers, also they had cited Dharma case as one of the cases, saying that this is an attack on Sanatan Dharma. Meanwhile, there's a latest update also coming in the investigation into the Dharma case. Viewers, here's a full report. Hindu seers from across the country have submitted a detailed memorandum to Union Home Minister Amit Shah. They are demanding urgent protective legislation to safeguard saints, religious institutions and places of worship from what they describe as repeated assaults, both physical and digital. The seers cited the Dharma case, describing it as the most painful and intolerable incident and also a sham that was an assault on the tenets of Sanatan and Jain Dharma. The seers urged the government to identify and punish those behind the attacks on Dharmasala's temple head Virendra Hegade and his family in a manner that would set an example. In a letter to Amit Shah, the seers have made a demand to bring in protective laws like the SC/ST Act. On the other hand, the Dharmasala probe is also intensifying. YouTuber Samir faced police probe heat in the Dharmasala case, with his home being searched in Bengaluru. Acting on a court warrant, police and FSL staff searched his home, checking his computer and mobile used for making videos. The seers memorandum concluded with an appeal to Amit Shah and Prime Minister Narendra Modi to act decisively to protect the dignity of Sanatan Dharma. Viewers, ruckus and chaos erupted in West Bengal Assembly today as the ruling parties, MPs, MLAs and also opposition BJP's MLAs shared heated exchanges with the West Bengal Chief Minister, launching scathing attacks on Prime Minister Modi and the BJP Chief Whip Shankar Ghosh being suspended, and not just suspended, he was dragged out by the marshals. The LOP, Shubhendu Adhikari, was also suspended from the Assembly today. There was high drama that unfolded, viewers, and the BJP had many allegations to make. Here's
Ruckus and chaos were on in full view in the West Bengal Assembly. This as Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress and the main opposition party in the state, the BJP, shared heated exchanges, shouting and screaming at each other. The face-off escalated into a full-blown showdown between the two parties as the BJP demanded answers as to why the leader of opposition Shubhendu Adhikari was suspended. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee launched an attack on the BJP, calling it anti-Bengali. And not just that, she also claimed that the BJP and Prime Minister Modi were thieves.
Modi chor, BJP chor, sabai slogan dao. Modi chor, BJP chor, Modi chor, BJP chor, Modi chor, BJP chor.
All this ensued while BJP Chief Whip Shankar Ghosh was suspended from the House for the rest of the day. Speaker of the West Bengal Legislative Assembly Biman Banerjee claimed that this was because of creating a ruckus during a discussion on alleged atrocities against Bengali migrants. As Shankar Ghosh refused to leave, marshals were called in and he was dragged out of the house. Meanwhile, Shubhendu Adhikari slammed the West Bengal Chief Minister, claiming that a case will be registered against her for abusing the BJP community.
Modi chor, BJP chor, sabai slogan dao. Modi chor, BJP chor.
मोदी कम्युनिटी को गाली दिया, राजस्थान और गुजरात मध्य प्रदेश में, दिल्ली में ममता को जाना पड़ेगा, केस होगा उनका खिलाफ।
The party also slammed the West Bengal Chief Minister, saying that there is lack of governance and democracy in TMC-led West Bengal. And later, it was Union Minister J.P. Nadda who took stock of the situation, dialing leader of opposition Shuvendu Adhikari and BJP MLA Shankar Ghosh, who was injured during the ruckus. The political face-off in West Bengal has heated up just months ahead of the elections, with both sides taking shots at each other.
And that's all from our side in this edition of 6 Stories at 6. We'll be right back with live and breaking at 6:30.